Hey Leo, Ali from Indigo Ascension. Welcome to your weekly quick read for the week beginning December the 14th through to the 20th. Massive integration week. Alrighty, I want to call these readings a walk through the pillars of light. After all, we are entering the Aquarian era of light. And this all kicks off with a total solar eclipse and new moon in Sagittarius on the 14th. And on the 21st, we have what is called the Great Conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. So, and on the same day, we also have solstice, all right? We literally are, this is like new across the board. There is energies that we haven't seen for 20 years. There is energies we haven't seen for 800 years. A whole new era that we haven't ever experienced, not in our lifetimes anyway, not for 2,000 years. We are leaving the age of Pisces, entering the age of Aquarius. Watch how significant things shift and change between 2020 and 2030, all right? And certainly, let's bring us back to this timeline, Ali. Why is this week so significant? Well, it activates that 12-12 gateway as we go through this next week into the 21st, into the 12-12, into 21-12, okay, is a powerful week into the final solstice of the year. Doesn't matter if you're in the northern or southern hemisphere. It wraps up the 12 months of integrations, okay, including all of the retrogrades, including the ecliptical cycles. And this year was unique in the sense that we are at an ecliptical crossroads. We are now launching a whole two-year cycle of a new ecliptical cycle. But more than that, on the 21st, we're new territory. So I want to do these readings, like I said, as a walk through the pillar of light. So there will be two soul cards to represent each of the pillars. And naturally, this evolution, this ascension, this change, this transformation, this level up will walk us through that. But first, we must merge the two energies of what those pillars may represent. Now, when it comes to symbolism in the tarot, those two pillars will be found on the High Priestess card. It will also be found on the Chariot card. And you would have seen that at some point in the timeline in your readings this year with me, or at any tarot reader, okay? They represent the shadow self and the light self. We are guided by the shadow experiences of our life as well as the light experiences of our life. We can certainly know what it means to be karmically looping through the shadows so we can truly integrate the wisdom of the shadows before we can truly see the light. And perhaps when it comes to ascension, we first must have to descend, hence dark night of the soul, incarnation, so that we can ascend, yeah? Or experience transformation and growth. So what is it? When we walk through these two pillars, what is birthed? And it's going to be unique for each of you guys, intuitively, zodiacally. So I'm going to pull two soul cards to represent each of those pillars, and the one in the middle is what you are birthing. God, you thought you were courageous already, Leo. There's a whole new level of what it means to be courageous, okay? And perhaps there's this unique blending of not just the lower chakras, okay? Because we know what it means to feel pride, we know what it means to feel genuine confidence. Certainly in our shadow work, we are faced with experiences that really knock pride on its butt, yeah? When we're severely attached, when we're strongly attached to the personality and ego aspects of self and reality, it can be quite shocking when those are stripped away and we're forced to look at what is within. You know, those are the awakening moments. We are forced to connect into what remains. It is our essence that remains. Our soul is eternal. Our love is eternal. Our ability to try again, regardless of the rapid changes within our external environments, be they relationships, workplace changes, financial situations. You know, it is those humbling moments in our timeline that bring us to our knees. And we can certainly form this understanding of courage based on the base chakras. But what if there's a whole other element of courage when it comes to the higher centers, the higher chakras, the higher elements of self? And maybe this walk through the pillars will birth this new version of courage for you guys, okay? Out of an old way of looking at courage from the lower realms, 3D realms, lower chakras. These two pillars are represented by honesty and indecision. How have you navigated indecision? How have you fell into the safety of logic, okay, or fear from making a decision for fear of being wrong, of it not working out? How have you chosen things that feel secure because they are safe? Where do you have to get honest with yourself about the power you give indecision in your life, and how that ultimately, that indecisive energy, that second-guessing self, impacts genuine courage? There's a patterning here. There's a way in which our mind works, where we're continually working in overthinking, worrying, second-guessing self, which can always affect our health and our reality. Maybe to the point that happiness always seems so far away, or happiness can be found in external circumstances. But like I said, what happens when those are stripped away? What is left? Okay? What is left when the worst thing has happened and there ultimately is nothing to worry about? How do we connect in to another element of courage? In many ways, I'm connecting into Leos that have used this year, this retrograde cycle all year, this ecliptical season as we launch into this new ecliptical cycle with Gemini leading the North Node, Sagittarius leading the South Node. This light pillar, okay, represented like of honesty and indecision, walking through them means there is an opportunity to birth a whole new relationship with your internal courage. You are the sun, Leo. Okay, your courage is essentially like fire, and it doesn't sit just within your solar plexus, it's in your heart. Where can you get honest with yourself about what can be surrendered when it comes to indecision and not trusting self? Okay, like I said, maybe there's a whole new level of courage that happens when we connect the higher chakras, embracing genuine, strong connections with intuition and knowing outside of the lower realms, okay, is what I'm feeling here intuitively. The High Priestess is underneath the deck, and this is the experiences of our shadow and our light. She sits in between the pillars because they are symbolic of the experiences in her life, the shadow and light, that she has gained wisdom from. Life is a series of ebbs and flows. The sun will always rise even after the darkest night. Yeah, maybe we're experiencing situations in our life that deeply impact our courage. That we lead down this path of stress and worry that impacts our health. We know that those timelines just keep looping down, yeah? The manifestation, magician card, has shown up for you, my friend. Be wary of what you are manifesting, okay? How has indecision and a lack of a level of or a type of courage gotten in the way of true manifestation for you? Where has control tendencies gotten in the way, where you can actually reshape and get honest with yourself about this thing that you're not letting go? It could be overthinking, it could be indecision, it could be this stagnant energy when it comes to, yeah, I'll go for it this other time, or I'll make this decision because it is secure and safe. There's stability here, yes, but it is sometimes in stability that we ultimately stagnate on some levels. Okay? I feel like I'm connecting to Leos that know that they need to push themselves out of some comfort zones, some known comfort zones, comfort blankets, relationships, work experiences, ways in which you perceive things, feel about things, the way in which you take risks. What does manifestation mean for you? You are like, literally, this is... What is this? What do you need to let go of in order to activate this? Where can you get honest with yourself about the control tendencies that are ultimately affecting a genuine sense of courage when it comes to the risk that is required to step out of your comfort zone? Okay, in order to embrace new experiences. I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. So the question is, do you? Do you fall back on what is safe? Do you use logic? Do you use safe choices? Where can intuition be implemented on a higher level so that it actually enhances your unique experience of courage, Leo? That's what's being birthed here. Like, I felt like this was not just courage per se, but like courage next level. Biggest risk of your life kind of thing. Like, if I was to say you only had a certain amount of time to live, what would you do with that time? Would you still wake up and go to the job tomorrow? I'm not saying make risky choices, but I'm saying, are you living, loving, being exactly how you would be if you knew you had a limited time? What are you holding on to? This ideal, this concept, this, no, we can't do that. That's not how it's done. Like, what is this? feel like I want to push some Leos through those pillars in order to connect into your higher self. There's a whole new level of possibility when it comes to connecting into your intuition. Like I've said it in a couple of different videos before, modern day science says the average human uses 10% of their mind. What is that 90%? And have we even mastered that 10%? There is so much mental health concerns, stress, anxiety that ultimately affects our health, yeah? So are we even mastering that 10%? And what does that 90, more importantly, what does that 90% represent? Is it our intuition? What does it mean to have all your wishes fulfilled? What would it mean to have life completely change and fortune favor you? Does it necessarily mean money? Does it mean genuine emotional fulfillment, peace of mind? There's something here that you are wanting to manifest, but what is getting in the way is an old way of thinking or doing things, or perceiving is what I, like I'm, it's a this feels like a perception, okay? And you're not quite seeing it just yet. Maybe it has something to do with money, okay? And work and success, all right? And finding security. What if the changes that ultimately test your courage have brought about experiences that you're currently facing that have ultimately probably even made you feel less courageous, have made you feel really indecisive about next steps because they need, traditionally, old version of you wanted to make safe choices, sure things, security, all this sort of stuff. But there's something here you are drawing in, and maybe everything has happened for a reason because you are being pushed to where you need to be. And it is in that space that you can actually connect to this essence that if I could do anything I want because I already had all the money in the world, what would I actually be doing because I love it? Would I still be in this relationship? Would I still be doing what I'm doing? How would I be spending my time? This is what I'm feeling, Leo. There's a deeper story here about connecting your daily experience of what you think work is compared to what your purpose is when it comes to success. Success in the 3D world looks like a certain thing, but success from these realms looks like something else entirely. But that doesn't discount the fact that those can both work in our favor to ground down what we would deem as success, as wish fulfillment, as changes to our fortune. And fortune's not just about money. It's something stable and secure that we can keep and grow for the long term, something that we don't want to let go of once that shift has happened up here. Okay? I feel in many ways I'm connecting to a lot of Leos that are looking at things in a whole new way, and there's a very strong possibility that you will be asked, okay, in order to walk through these pillars, you will be asked to really like bring a phoenix rising, or at least, you know, that fire, that death and rebirth energy to your relationship with your intuition, and how it can work in your favor, how you use it in many ways, but perhaps you haven't actually used it in a sense that it can enhance the physical experience, the material experience on the ground here, and manifest for yourself. Okay? Where can you get honest with yourself about how your intuition is always speaking to you, but perhaps you've separated it from yourself on some level. By walking through the pillars, there is a whole new level of courage, my lovely Leos. And it leads you towards your happiness, away from your traditional worries. You know, we can normalize worry, we can normalize stress, and sometimes stress equals success because we're so busy, because in the busyness we're doing and keeping productive. And that's what I'm feeling here, these old paradigms, old worlds, old realities that ultimately never led to our fulfillment and happiness. Alrighty, I'll leave that with you. What would you be doing if you had everything you need and you had all the money you needed in the bank? What would you be doing? How would you be spending your days? Where would you be living? Who would you be with? Okay, Leo? That was your quick read, my friend, for a powerful solar eclipse week into solstice and the Great Conjunction. I've currently put a pause on distant healings and readings, but I'll be reactivating that shortly after the 21st, and I will also be launching new products and services on the shop link, which you can find in the bio link above if you're watching on Instagram, and in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube, Leo. Have an amazing week. Until next time, take care, my friend.